When we teach storytelling, we talk a lot about the rule of three, which is this idea that three is kind of a magic number. 3 repetitions feels really satisfying. 3 examples of something is enough to convince you. And if you're looking for humor, if you have 2 examples and then the third is really unexpected, it's hilarious. And the reason I'm telling you all of this is because our next performer is Tong. And he is the first storyteller to make it to top shelf 3 times in a row. And I think it feels really satisfying, and I think we're all going to be pretty convinced of his mad skills as a storyteller. And if you're familiar with his first 2 stories and you put it next to this one, this is definitely unexpected, and at least to me makes it that much more hilarious. And there's all these other things I want to tell you about John, about the fact that we've worked together for 4 years, and how I got into storytelling, but I can't without potentially giving away too much about his story. So instead, I'm just going to ask you to help me welcome to the stage Tong.
Last spring, I was alone in my office at night, and the only source of light was the glow from my computer screen. And I was waiting for someone that hurt my feelings and didn't even know it, and I was going to confront them. Since I moved here 7 years ago, I haven't made a lot of friends. It's okay. I find other people get in the way of my highly developed narcissism. But my wife, who's trapped in a horribly codependent marriage, has voiced concerns. She knew I had a problem when we were planning our wedding. She was inviting 60 people, and including my parents, I was inviting 7. And she said, there's got to be someone else you could invite. And I said, well, how about Juan? She's like, well, who's Juan? I'm like, well, Juan's the guy that empties the trash in my office. We talk every night, mostly about Cuba and communism and Fidel Castro. And if he brings it up, he's against. So my wife started setting up play dates with other adults. But that never works because apparently I don't have a filter and I behave inappropriately. I have a poorly developed sense of boundaries. I guess it's not appropriate to talk about my business idea for a dating website for burn victims. Or how I sometimes go to Walmart just to feel better about my body. Or how I have a phobia when I use men's room stalls that, like, someone's gonna knock on the door and whisper, I know you're not moving in there. So, my wife has set us up with dozens of couples, and we never seem to make it to the second date. I don't know why. One time I told one of her best friends from college, one of my wife's best friends, that a woman to whom she had been close, that I had not washed the jeans I was wearing in 2 years, and she never talked to Nicole ever again. And if you think I'm exaggerating, you can ask my wife, who's here this evening and probably drinking heavily out there somewhere. I never meant to alienate her from all of her friends so she couldn't leave me. Just worked out that way. So, it's not really self-conscious when I meet people because I'm afraid I'm going to say something bad and then they won't talk to me anymore. And I like talking to people. And I missed Juan, because that worked. Because we had short conversations on safe topics, so I never said anything offensive. But I changed jobs, so Juan wasn't around anymore. And then I thought, I could have that kind of relationship again. And I realized people in customer service have to be nice to you. It's literally their occupation. They work behind these long counters with a limited number of exits. So for someone like me, that's a stationary target. And before long, I had friends all over town. Barista at my local coffee shop, the lady that works at the Potbelly sandwich store. I knew a few guys that work at REI, even though I haven't been camping since I was 9. I just had to get to know them a little bit, and then I always had somebody to talk to. If I ever said anything naughty, I just didn't go back for a couple of weeks, and the relationship would just kind of reset itself. But then I met Nicolasso, and everything changed. Nicolasso is the lady who emptied the trash at my new job. I worked late, so most of the time it was just the two of us. She was 60 years old and from Guatemala, but her English was fantastic. I played it cool at first. Start with an hola. That became a como se llama John. We just took it from there. She'd tell me about her family, and I'd look up some funny phrase in Spanish on Google Translate, and she'd laugh. But after a couple of months, it started getting awkward, It was like some nights she'd come into the office and was like, just wanted to do her job. Relationship was stagnating. And then, Christmas before last, my wife put a bunch of these Christmas presents that we received we weren't going to use on the kitchen table. And I told her, I'm going to bring these into Nicolasa, give them to her before I go on Christmas vacation. But when I gave them to her, she seemed really distressed. And I guess I should have been paying more attention because inside the gift basket I gave her, there was a fuzzy blanket, chocolate truffles, and a bottle of red wine. Well, Nicolasa stopped coming into the office after that. But I didn't think much of it. I figured, maybe she went home to see her family. But then a new woman started coming in, and I thought, ooh, new friend. But this lady didn't like to chat. She started coming in later. So I mentioned it to my coworker, and she was like, has it occurred to you that she's heard that there's a strange man that works late? That gives people fuzzy blankets and red wine? She's trying to avoid you. I was hurt by that suggestion, okay? Because I'm not some weirdo, okay? So I decided to set a trap for the cleaning lady. That night, I turned off the lights in the front of the office, and I waited. And not 15 minutes later, I heard her come rolling in. And I thought, aha! So I thought I'd let her know that I knew what was going on. So when she came around the corner, I said, hola. Which got her attention. And then I noticed that she got a haircut. And because I'm a gentleman, I know you always compliment a lady on her haircut. So I said, I like your haircut. But she didn't speak a lot of English, so I thought I should say it again, this time using lots of gestures. I like your haircut. And she started making this half nervous laugh, half cry for help, scared, and I was scared because, like, to an outside observer, it would appear as though I just lured this woman into a dark, empty office. Which is precisely what I just done. So I just put my hands up and started walking away, and I was like, I'm not gonna touch you. You're just so goddamn lonely. Well, she stopped coming into the office after that. Now these two men come in. They're not friendly at all. They appear to be employing some kind of buddy system. And I guess I learned two things. First, I need to start making more meaningful friendships. Clearly found my bottom. But more importantly, I've learned creepy people don't know they're creepy. Like, they think whatever they're doing is normal, and everyone else is just overreacting. But then, a couple months later, I ran into Nicolasa. It turns out she'd been working up on the 6th floor the entire time. She looked good. She said that she liked it up there and she was happy. That's all I ever wanted for her. It was obvious that she wanted to go, and I said that it was nice to see her. And as we went in our separate directions, I was glad that we've both been able to move on in our lives.